Okay, and the vice chairman Neil will take over if the meeting is still going on. We'll go from there. First is public comment. After that, no one has signed up tonight. I'd like to remind everybody there's 3 minutes per individual comments to pertain to current agenda items.
That's changed. That's
You can come and talk anytime now. School board, yeah. But it does not have to be per the agenda.
But 3 minutes still per individual.
Next will be the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence Thursday night, and then the Canyon County Schools Employee Spotlight and Canyon County School Retirees in May. Roll call. First on the agenda tonight is to approve the May 14th, 2026 agenda of the Canyon County Board of Education. Anybody have anything on the agenda? All right, moving on. Number 2 is consent agenda. A is to approve the minutes of the April 9th, 2026 regular meeting of the Canyon County Board of Education. And B is to approve overnight and out-of-state trips. We have 3 this month. Trip number 5066 is Canyon County High School FFA to Camp Clements in Dole, Tennessee, and that is June the 8th through June the 12th of 2026. Trip number 5089 is Canyon County High School Tennessee Strong Summit in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that is July 19th through July 21st of 2026. And trip number 5095 is the Canyon County High School Tennessee Teen Institute, Martin, Tennessee, and that is June the 7th through June the 12th of 2026. Any questions on the consent agenda? Number 3 is the granting of tenure to qualified teachers for 25-26. Y'all have that in y'all's packet to look over for Thursday night. Number 4 is the financial report, Canyon County Finance Department personnel. There you are.
We are still in the process of balancing for this last month, and as soon as we have that completed, I'll get those reports out to you.
Number 5 is the supervisor's report. Did anybody have any questions for the supervisor? Or supervisors have any questions for us?
I'd just like to thank them again for all their work they do on these reports, but also all the extra time they put into helping out with information at last night's work session for the middle school. That was a lot of information, and it was very valuable information. I don't know if everybody disagrees with it, but it was certainly a lot of good information to move forward with a plan.
Anything else? Anything else you want to say? Number 6 is for Jason Barrett to address the board for discussion and possible action for the tabled item from April 9th, 2026 board meeting concerning the Texas Town Club to be able to provide salary supplements. Mr. Barrett, you have anything new today?
Nothing new that I know of. She'll be here in just a minute. It just needs y'all's approval to carry on. It's nothing from the school system. It's nothing from the county. It's strictly from the money that we raised and was in the budget. Last year's budget that got approved to grant them extra money for their duties beyond what the school has them to do.
I reached out and just had some questions for Ben, because I know that it was said that there was some gray area in the wording. And he confirmed that he felt that there was. And I said, well, what does that mean if we approve it? And he said, well, if we're telling you that there's gray area and somebody tries to question that or, dig deeper into it and contradict how we have decided to do, and say that the individuals still pertains to the coach, that since we know that it's a gray area, that it would fall back against us if we did it. So that he said that that wording has got to be rewritten to not say individuals. It has to be very clear that the coach could have this. Otherwise, if there was a lawsuit, that gray area would not be gray anymore because we're been made aware.
Is it coach or is it school employee?
The wording, I believe it says individuals. And because that's a broad word, he said that that was the gray area.
Yeah, in the bylaws, correct.
That's correct, in the touchdown club bylaws.
Because the salary supplement is for school employees. Like Adam Melton is a school employee. He gets paid to clean the stadium. And that would have to go through the salary supplement process.
But the way that the touchdown club bylaws
So
are
that
saying, that
bylaws,
individual covers in, it's in.
Yeah, so not just a coach, it's
It's
a school.
in, that's correct.
Yeah.
Any individual.
That was our concern when three of us took over and we read the bylaws. That, no, you can't do that. But talking to the comptroller and getting more information, we can revise and redo that wording in our bylaws to make it where that is okay, but we cannot still just give the individual
That's correct.
salary.
Right,
Yeah,
the wording is
without-
what he was talking
Yes.
about, is that it, for us to even be able to vote on it, that wording has to be changed.
Yeah, and that's in the bylaws of the SSO where it says individual because the wording is a little,
Well,
the word
that,
individual just needs to be eliminated because
Yes.
it's not meant for individuals, it's talking about stakeholders and people in the booster club.
Further, he went on, Ben said that if the wording was changed and it was brought back for us and we wanted to do it, it could open up a Title IX issue. And I've asked him to elaborate, more on that. He said that while voting on it and approving that was not a direct violation of Title IX, if we had a series of things that we were only doing for boy athletics and we weren't doing things for the girl athletics, that all could be lumped together. So he suggested just to be very cautious if they did change the wording and if we did approve it at that point, to be aware that we are not.
We would need to do something in the motion if we approved it, is what they're saying.
That
Is what Ben is saying.
Ben was just saying, just be very careful. I even asked if maybe TSBA could do a policy training, or not policy training, but the training that we do throughout the year, if they would consider doing a Title IX curriculum, because it just seems like it's very involved.
So in Title IX, every sport will have opportunity for SSO if they want, correct? No matter if it's boys or
What
girls.
the bottom line is that if it opens it up for, should the board approve to do this, that then say the girls softball team came, it wouldn't have to match dollar for dollar, but the board would have to do something comparable, even though it was coming from your funds, they still approve that to happen.
Even with them having the opportunity to start their own SSO.
Yes, sir.
What's the
Yes.
time?
And that's
That's a very
and that's
similar
also
question.
for
That's
my
what-
Jennings as well. Our attorneys could be board attorney as well. That's what their concern is, opening up for Title IX.
Has there been any precedent on that? Meaning, has there ever been a lawsuit on that?
Well, not yet.
I don't know. That was not a question that I had. I just asked that
I would
question.
look at that too, to see if there's been any precedent set on it, because there's been decades of this, I think, so. I'd look at that.
You have any more commercial?
That was all that you gave me.
And I've spoken to him as well. I think we all did our homework just a little bit. And exactly what she just spoke was exactly the things. He talked about an imbalance of what we are providing. It does not matter where it comes from, but that imbalance of the provisions that we give as a board, it did not matter. And he spoke of bylaw. So, and he spoke of the wording in the bylaws. That was the first thing. And I think that can be very easily taken care of. That's not a big pickup for me. Because I think just the rewording could be done. and it would be fine. And they could be working together to do that. The concern I have is the issue with what could come about with Title IX. So we have to be very aware of that. We do not want to mess with it. And I will check in with him, Coach Lynch, and ask if there have been
Yeah.
certain cases he can give me. I would say there probably has.
There is.
But, I think that the state of Tennessee is too large of an area for either one of us to be able to say yes or no on that without speaking with somebody like me. And I don't mind reaching out to him tomorrow and asking, I'll be
Thank you.
absolutely.
Any more discussion on this? Number 7, Shrey and Jason Barrett to address the board with additional options for football fields, and I think there's it was in your packet.
Right, what I gave you all was from the previous, meeting that we had that had what that first bid option was for the 49.5 to compare it with this bid here to see exactly
This bid.
the difference between the two bids. Yeah.
This bid here is just a top dressing and trying to get sprinkler heads fixed is what
It does top risk the
the
practice field as well
practice
as the,
field as well.
gets them to a better running standard. It's nothing where they need to be, but we've got to do something. So this gets it to playable both sides. The practice field to be in better condition for practicing, but not, and also the practice field for the competent when we have opposing team is over there. So again, as we all know and as always recognized and everybody agreed to, current situation of the field and the practice field is hazardous. So without doing anything, we're opened up to negligence. So this is an opportunity to do a little bit of both for both the practice field and the main field to have it up to a little better standard until we can do more with it. The irrigation is part of that. It cannot be good without irrigation. We've got some cracked heads, leaking heads, so they're leaking water underneath, which then makes puddles and makes divots. So if we fix all of that, we can stop having some of the problems to continue to be a problem, and we can continually re-top dress it and get it. It will take several years, but several years in small doses instead of one big chunk that we were trying to do, that we can at least get it somewhere in the near future in a lot better condition than what it is now. Any questions on it, on the things that?
So you said he's gonna adjust on the option too? Because the bid I've got, it's got installed 10 loads of sand, 6 on game, 4 on this, and top grade to level minor undulations and low areas.
Correct. And the irrigation is not in that, but it is part of that.
Okay.
It is in part of that amount in that 25,000.
Okay.
I didn't have the figure when I had to send this to you guys. We met with them and we ballparked it, and I ballparked it on the nose minus $50. So I overshot $50. If you want to say 24,950.
So
Pretty good estimate.
No, you do not have to get that.
And the reason behind that
It's because it is adjustment to the bid that we've already bid out for it.
So because it's an adjustment and it's under the
People fall
25.
under. It's actually cheaper than the original bid as well, so that's
But it contains
another.
the same component.
Right.
Right.
And the
So
same
we're
company.
covered on that end. Yes.
Yes, you will not have to rebid it out if that's something y'all
Okay.
want to do.
I got the major leak fixed down there because we hadn't been able to even turn the irrigation on. I got it fixed and to address to see what sprinkler heads and all that was working. And right now completely damaged is 6 out of the 28. And the rest of them are not coming up working right. So this quote right here, that will be replacing, putting all new sprinkler heads
Because
and bringing them up to grade.
they're 15 years old. At most,
Better.
or better, that is the best regulation. And the irrigation specialist that looked at it, they said, well, you got your money's worth out of that. Because they don't really last 10.
Right.
So running on borrowed time for sure. Replacing them is the best option with that.
Does anybody else have any questions on this?
So you said practice fields, sprinkler heads and all that too, same?
No.
There's no sprinkler heads on the practice field, but yes, it is top dressing the practice field, so it will be in better shape.
Okay.
It will top dress the playing field, the game field, and
We'll just have to pull hose and sprinklers out there to keep it, get it wet and bring it.
Back to what it was.
Yes.
yeah, get the grass to grow. Can't grow without water.
That's a water bill.
But also now we couldn't even turn the water system on at all, not just for the irrigation, but anytime that we turn on that pipe down there, water would run up underneath the goalpost until Jason, and when Jason says Jason fixed it, it means Jason fixed it. There was nobody else. So nobody knows where anything was. Nobody knows anything about how all that was together. He dig a hole till he found it and he fixed it. So
Good one.
we're gonna get it taken care of one way or the other.
Any other questions?
Ms. Tria,
Ma'am.
you talked about, and I think I'm following, I want to make sure you said that this, the sand, getting all this, the level and stuff like this is just the first step. So are we looking at something
Ideally,
comparable to this next year to
what we
have
were-
the fund?
not, definitely not the irrigation. No,
Right.
that'll be done. But the top dressing of the field needs to be done for the next 3 years. Unless you do, like I said, that's your options. You either got a big chunk and it'll be all done and all you gotta do is keep it watered and everything goes nicely. Or you have to do it a piece at a time. It's gonna be chunked up, but you're gonna have to do it in about 3 years' time. We'll have a really nice football field. Until then, we'll have a Band-Aid one.
Yeah, he said, in 3 years, he can work it out. Correct.
Right.
In 3
You
years.
can't
they
get all of, you
pretty-
can't get it perfect, even with the top dressing now, the undulations that are there, the divots, the things that have happened, and because of the leaky irrigation that caused even worse, that's why you see such a divot and a worn out pattern there, because those places held so much water that then as soon as you run on them, you cut out all the grass and it just dies. So because of all the underground water that was there. So getting all that fixed, then all you'll have to do is the top dressing part, which is somewhat normal maintenance, but not huge. That's just to get it to that standard. And then after that, maintenance auto will be much less if it keeps up. The problem is with our organization being a continual roll off. It depends on whose parents take up next. But honestly, this field should not be the maintenance of any organization besides the school. This is the school's property, so this should be an issue that is something, particularly as the board, and like I said, as you've all recognized, it's a hazard. You really don't want to have negligence of that on your, on the board for everything, because it's a problem. It needs to be fixed. This is a Band-Aid process. Once that's done, then yeah, the next few years after that. But again, it really needs to be something put in somebody's checklist who's continually around, because not. And that's what's happened. So even the water damage, a majority of the water damage issue was because of improper winterization, because no one knew to do it, because whoever used to do it wasn't there anymore. They didn't tell the next person coming in all the things that need to be done. So yeah, the water got shut off, but the water didn't get flushed out of the lines.
Correctly. Ain't thought he did.
So-
Because I talked to him and they thought he was doing like he's supposed to. But the coaches before took care of that part. And Barch and Hinch had no idea that it was on them to take care of that part. Because the maintenance guys was winterizing everything else at the football field. The bathrooms, the concession stand, the outside spigots and all that. And it's one of them things, I had no idea about the sprinkler system until I got dug into it because it's tore up. So we'll go with it and get it fixed.
Yep.
Now we know what needs to be done.
And we'll tell somebody, whoever wants to. We're glad to forward that information to the next one, so that doesn't keep happening, but, yeah. And it's, like I said, it's something that needs to be fixed, and it's gonna happen one way or the other. So, I mean, the opportunity is there to make sure that it's handled the most appropriate, at least one of my opinion, that I think it's the most appropriate, that it's the school board, the school's property, it should be the school taking care of it. So if the touchdown club has to take care of it, then there's gonna be some stipulations on anybody else using it.
Well, I think on that note, my question would be, is it the school board's responsibility to maintain the field if it is not open?
That's look into it because we don't maintain the high school junior pro, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Nichols, takes care of your floor, correct? The high school floor, refinishing it.
For the CCYB, yeah.
The youth basketball, sorry.
But not the junior lions does not.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is they take care, that's how they raise the money to fund.
That's how
They
we
take
pay
care of the
for the refinishing.
And now anything major, yes.
Anything major, it comes before the board. Like the last time that we had, I guess the floor completely stripped down and the new design put on, I think the board paid for that. I don't know, I think it was between 25 and 30,000 back 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know how long.
So Courtney, to answer your question, I have to look into it. I don't.
There's particular parts, of course, that are like, obviously, even mowing it, the coaches have done that. Putting grass seed down and some of the minor maintenance of that, absolutely. We paid for that for years. It's been part of what the touchdown, my understanding, part of why the touchdown club was created, because there wasn't money to have that done.
Right.
But these things are a major kind of thing, like I said, that is not your general maintenance.
And if it was just the high school playing on it instead of everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, you really ain't got everybody else playing on it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you might have, what, 6 football games on it?
You have soccer
Soccer
using
practice
that
today.
and practice.
But that's high school. That's still part of your high school.
Right. But the funding even, I mean, again, just in general, one of the comments was made in one of our other meetings about, well, there's other organizations that use it. Yes, and none of them make any money. They don't have money to contribute to it. That's the point. They're using it, and in part of that use is destruction, and yet there's no help, there's no monetary help, there's no any workday help. So that's, I'm saying that it's the only thing that brings any money to be able to put back to that. So
Anything else?
I think that may be something that needs to be looked at. I always want to take responsibility. If I'm sitting on the board, I want to take responsibility for the things that we should hold dear to us and take care of, and the things that our students use. I totally agree with that. I've always admired and always appreciated how our community has worked. And so I think if multiple teams, multiple programs are using that field, looking back at what other programs have done, I hope this is okay to use this as an example. The baseball program has partnered and taken very good care of their baseball field alongside us. Not saying they've done it all, not saying we have done it all by any stretch of the imagination. But our community, I think the Cannon County community is very good at working together. I think we need to work together to try and make this happen. And do it where our football players, one of them's here tonight, are taken care of, but also our soccer players are taken care of, the youth football's taken care of. And I think we can have a spirit of working together to make it happen. I do not want to pass this buck at all. But I think that we can work together to make something happen. Because I think that's the community. Yeah. So, this is my 2 cents.
I think you have an opportunity to do it, to work together for 3 years and get that filled the way you can get it based on a recommendation of what the situation we're in, the finances, if that makes sense. That guy, that Jason was talking to, he feels very confident doing what we're doing for 3 years, we can get it dang near back to where it was.
Grade and everything exactly like it needs to
But
be.
you said the best you eat an elephant one bite at a time. I think you have to do this a little bit at a time when you can't afford it all at once.
Again, the irrigation part would be not part of that. So as far as trying to look financially, the next 2 years, what that would be, you're going to be falling between a $15,000 to $20,000 range. And again, that's not to say that that's what the school board would be responsible for. That's what, in general, like that's what we're going to have to come for just the sand and top dressing it. And it's not something that I know some folks that you just get sand donated. No, it's not just sand. If you put just sand there, you wind up with a bunch of weeds and a bunch of stuff. So there is a specialty part to that. You can't just we can't just go out and put it on there. You have to have you have to have turf tires for that. So these guys have all that special equipment that's designed for that. So again, that's where, does it cost a little bit more than just, let's just get sand donated from Reed's, let's get this donated from that. It can't happen that way and be right. You're going to wind up with a bigger mess. So again, to say looking forward is not something necessarily that I'm asking for a 3-year commitment from the school board either. I'm asking for the help right now because this was not on our list either. And then we'll, again, by the time if we need help, but I would not suspect, especially not 25,000, because we're not dealing with the heads. That's going to be a little done for hopefully another at least 10 years. We got 15 out of this one. Maybe they'll make 15 out of it. But at any rate, somebody will know that for sure and hopefully get on that. And again, if it maintenance properly, please.
That was the question I was about to ask.
So it's 25,000 now and 15 to 20 next year and the next, or total?
Next year and because again, the majority of your cost right there is sand. And as silly as that sounds, but sand is stupid right now along with everything else. Now, if the cost of sand goes down, it'd be way less than that. It used to.
Yeah, it's
Be-
almost
be
$9 a ton.
We used to do fields at somewhere between 7 to 8,500 a pop. And that was like a couple of years ago.
And that was a whole field. That was top dress.
That's the game.
This is patch and spots, guys. We're not even
Yeah.
doing the whole field.
So
This is to patch the spots to try to get it back level. But again, you have to keep that up or it won't happen. So, but yes, like I said, looking forward, it's not going to be that 25, and I'm not even proposing that. At this point, we can budget ourselves knowing that that's coming too, but we may need some help with that.
I would like to say that if moving down the road, I would love to see all those that use the field have some sort of skin in the game for maintenance responsibility, not just for y'all, but baseball and softball, the middle school teams contribute for seed there. So they're already contributing to the baseball and softball field at the high school. So I think that it would be good. I don't know if it's school board policy.
Julie.
Sorry, it's too late. But I think it would be fair.
I think it would be nice for them to contribute, but I think that's where we have to have some conversations with, because some of the sports don't have the revenue coming in
Right.
like football does. So let's be creative and let's help them. Let have the athletic directors work together to let some of the clubs maybe come in and do some kind of concession stands or do, work a gate a night, or, something so that they can generate some funds somehow. I don't know what that would look like, but to give him an opportunity to help generate some funds. That's good. It's the thought. I have to think through it and see what that would look like, but that provides some opportunities.
All right, moving on. Number 8. Approve resolutions BOE 14, 15, and 16. Ms. Julie,
Let's see.
advertising and distribution of materials in schools. Is that right? No, I'm looking at the resolutions. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm looking at policy permits. Resolutions was transferring money.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's 14 is moving the money around for payroll for the state special education preschool grant. Our payroll, it was in different lines and we just need to adjust that a little bit. So that's what the resolution 14 is for. 15 is for the TVA STEM grant, classroom grant that y'all approved, Miss Crystal and Miss Macy Clemens to apply for, and they actually received it. So that's to add it to our budget because we received the monies for that. And then resolution 16 is our Chromebook fees that we receive from the high school and middle school. That's just to allocate those monies back into our budget as well.
Any questions? Number 9, Drew, review of policy 6.400 to 6.7110, student part 2. Did anybody have anything on these?
I did, but I went on the TSBA side to review it and their system was down, so I had to download it to my computer. I don't know if that's the problem, but I don't have a 6603. What does it say?
We got an email the other day from Ben concerning that Microsoft was updating on the back end and it kind of messed it up.
So the 6603 is in there.
No, the reason why there's an issue with it,
Yeah, because I called him the other day when I was trying to.
he sent an email, student records, student user record.
So that's why, because it is.
It's messed up. Yeah, he sent it saying it's made changes to how the back end functions. It indicated the changes would not impact them, but it did. Disrupted the policies when you pull it up, but IT is, they're all working on it.
Okay. The other question, and I can reach out to them, but there was a couple, 6401. It looked like at one time it had a footnote, an attachment to something legal, and it's not there. So I don't know if that was under the revisions or this update that it took it off, but it read funny.
Which student health services?
Student health services, line 1, 2, 3, 6. It says program 1, so it doesn't have that footnote attached, and there's no on mine, nothing showing. So shouldn't it be attached to something? See, and it doesn't have any of these on it. Okay, I'll reach out and see if that's why mine looks funny.
We haven't, we went through this, and updated these, last year, May 2025.
So you don't have anything. So,
No, on the last page, or
no, yeah. I don't have any of that on there. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's not.
that's because of the
Okay.
issue with the.
Well, let's see, on the other ones, I had them. It was
Yeah,
just a
Yeah,
couple.
they're still working on
Perfect.
that.
Shouldn't this be, right here, shouldn't this be,
Including, yes.
yeah, I know, but all the other ones look so they're just looked better. Like it was a footnote instead of a 1 at the end of the word.
Yeah, we've only updated, the last year was 6.600 student records, charter school, that was June 2025, 6.411 student wellness, July 2025, and 6.500 special education students, November 13, 2025. Everything else was just regular review last night.
Any more questions on those, please? No? Approve TSBA recommendations to policy 1.804 alcohol and drugs in the workplace. Policy 5.114 personnel files. Policy 5.1151 is telework during emergencies. Policies 5.200 through 5.202 separation practices for employees. Policy 5.302 is sick leave. Policy 5.400 personnel health examinations, communicable diseases. Policy 5.403 is drug and alcohol testing for employees. Policy 5.606 is political activities. Policy 5.608 is tutoring for pay, and policy 5.800 is directors of schools. And that was in our packet.
With each of those, it just seems to be some little minor changes, and adding, like with the alcohol and drugs in the workplace, adding a statement for physical examination and screening based upon reasonable suspicion. That was added to that particular policy. The personnel records, they just added a line about disciplinary action. Also could be part of the personnel records. Telework during emergencies, that now telework outside times of emergency is not permitted. And then each of the separation practices for tenured teachers, non-tenured teachers, and certified employees, non-certified employees, was the allegations requiring temporary removal from duty. And it listed all of the options there that as to why, what could be included to reassign to alternate duties, be placed on administrative leave with pay, or temporary removal from the school setting. And so all of those were applicable to each of those. Sick leave, the change there, that an employee that's absent for 5 consecutive working days shall submit a doctor's statement verifying illness or injury of employee or family member. And then frequent use and or suspected misuse of sick leave by an employee are sufficient grounds for requiring a physician's certificate stating the reason for absence. The personnel health examinations and communicable diseases, that the director shall reassign an employee to alternate duties, place an employee on administrative leave with pay, or temporarily remove an employee from the school setting who is suspected of having communicable disease that might endanger the health of others, pending an investigation. The drug and alcohol testing for employees, that they added a section to that. However, in the old policy, there was that pre-employment for drug screening. And when I reached out to Ben, because that was not in what they had updated, and he suggested keeping that pre-employment for drug screening and then adding the rest of that updated policy for the drug and alcohol testing for employees. And then the political activities, lead is a whole new policy that we didn't have before. So that's a brand new policy. Previously it was staff community relations, and now it's political activities. Then tutoring for pay also appears to be a new policy. And then for the director of schools, just clarifies that the director of schools is the only employee directly employed by the Board of Education. All other employees of the district are employed, supervised, and managed under the authority of the director of schools. And the director of schools is charged by the board with the responsibility to oversee and managing all personnel matters within the district, laws, regulations, policies. This includes hiring, assignment, evaluation, discipline, and dismissal of employees, as well as the delegation of such duties as appropriate. Those were all the activities.
Any questions?
There was a lot this go around.
Number 11 is to approve a new policy 3.207, video surveillance. Would you like to present this?
Yes, y'all got a copy of that, and I noticed there was a correction confirmed just a while ago. We forgot to change when we sent it out the Ms. Teresa earlier. As y'all know, we're in the era of video and surveillance. Sorry, I was corrected. I'm saying age. Sorry, Tim. And so that comes with, like we're talking about earlier, about liabilities and certain things and legal and all that. And there's, things happen and they're like, you do get questioned. And principals, everybody gets questioned at times, like, I want to see this video. And it's like, who has the right? But we also need to protect other people that are also can be in that video, different things. So we've, gone through and there's out of 141 Tennessee school districts, only 9, so let's look at them, have a policy at all. That's it. 9 on this. Some of them barely anything. So it's like it's one of those that covers privacy for staff, for the students. It takes care of us, legally, puts in a procedure in place, who and when, it gives a time frame and stuff. So that way if an accident or incident occurs, you have only 14 days to come forward to say, I need and request, because that's also goes on with, we're on TCA code, different things. We're only allowed to have, more, but we have to at least maintain 14 days of keeping the video surveillance, locked and stuff, so it's one of those, we also don't need to let incidents go on and on and on, people's memories change, like, well, I don't remember so and so, it's get things taken care of as they happen instead of letting them go down the road. And thought it would be good to go ahead and get this in place before we update the employee and student handbooks before they're to be worked on in the next couple of months to be printed out and stuff, so it's got, like I said, it'll cover us, it's safety and stuff. Like I said, look through federal law with the TCA codes. There's not too much at all in that. Feel free to do my notes too on those. But it's one of those things I think we need to. We have on the doors, video surveillance on all the doors at the schools, but we need to kind of cover ourselves a little more.
Questions on the policy?
And the tech department, everybody else went through it when we sat down and
Thank you for looking at it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Action. Anything else on this one? At this time, I am to turn it over to Vice Chairman, Ms. Thomas. And I'll go through the rest of it one now on Thursday. Thank you.
All right, we're going to item number 12. This of this the board concerning regarding the floor and again South Library.
All right, so we are going to update the library a little bit. Our flooring has been there a long time, and it was put in around the metal shelf that we currently have. So it didn't go all the way to the wall; it just went up to the shelf. And so now it's like you're walking on some puzzle pieces. They move because, as you know, if it's not up against the concrete wall and it's not as stable, and then one of the shelves that actually is no longer there. And so at the front, there's not even any flooring. Or whatever. So I wanted to get that replaced, but we found out last week that under that flooring, when we reached out to Middle Tennessee Carpet to do the flooring, they had said that there could be asbestos. So he told us to get with Melanie and to reach out. And who Neil they used showing him some flooring and asbestos in the central office. So that actually came today. And so he went under that flooring, and it's like old carpet under there. And then the original tile has been removed, but the glue that held the tiles in place is still there, and that's what contains the asbestos. They scraped it today, and they will send it off to wherever to find out. So hopefully in the next few days we'll know for sure. But if it does have asbestos, that the removal process for that is like $3,500 if they were to remove it. If they don't have to remove it, we're at $3,000 for a new floor, and that would be fabulous. But we have that cost of that possibly can be the case. So just I have to have approval from you all, of course, to do any upgrades to our building. We're wanting to also put in some shelving and all the things. So I tried to list out everything that we were planning to spend. I didn't know like if we had to do the asbestos, if that's something that you guys did help us with, or if that's something that was not in our plan, asbestos removal. So I listed everything out there and the cost of that. So. But we will definitely, the shelving costs, we know that, like our shelves are just like metal shelves that we've had to put like boards in the back of them so the books don't fall off the shelves. They're in bad shape. So we're going to try to get some like nice wooden shelves and to make it better for our kids in there.
So
Don't for me.
go like a carpet or?
No, just like this. Yes. But they can't put this down on
Right.
the carpet and the glue from 1950s. So right now, we're in a holding pattern until we find out about the asbestos and all that. So.
I know we have a policy on it. It's like kind of messed up, but another is a policy.
And I'm glad like Middle Tennessee Carpet did, let us go ahead and know that. So we were able, and we have another company coming this week, or hopefully this week, sometime soon. Just so we have more options on it. But this is who they have used, and who Neil recommended is the guy that came today, from understanding. And that Mel had sent them over. Any questions? We're just trying to make it look a little better in there. All right. Thank you. Reach out to me if you have any questions then.
Thank you, Ms. Crosby. All right, item number 13 on tonight's agenda. Coach Finch would like to address an automated painting system for the CCHS football field. Coach Finch.
Emailed, everybody at the table here earlier today. I printed on a couple of these things. That's the quote that I've emailed you if you guys want to pass it around. The automated painting system, it's just a robot that spray paints. So it cost us football programs, $8,300 to paint. That's just paint. That's not like labor or anything. The yearly, paint fee is what, 7,000? What's the lease on there? 7,637, correct? That's before taxes. Obviously, that would be the cost because there is no taxes in it. So I put there's an opt-out option there. So if the funds aren't there for the next year, because we're, what was it, municipality or something like that, they've got that clause. can afford it, you can opt out of it. No, no payment needed or anything like that, but all the information is in there. It can paint, it has unlimited logos that you can use. It can paint anywhere. It's a really good deal. It's going to save our coaches time. It's going to save our booster club time. It's going to save our middle school time. It's going to save our youth league time. It's all GPS. It's been kind of had them go out, do a demonstration already. Easy to clean, doesn't clog. Kind of compared it to some other brands that are out there. This is pretty foolproof as far as how much it cost us for paint versus how much it is. It's a 6-year lease. It's kind of, I guess the reason it's here to be voted on is because it's like, I guess, brought to my attention from my bookkeeper. It's like the printers that we lease and stuff like that. It's a lease, so that's why it has to be here. So does not come out of anybody's pocket, like the football account.
Not asking for
Yeah.
funding.
Not asking for funding. I'm just asking for it to be approved. Paint cost is $8,300. The robot's $7,637, and I don't have to touch the field with a line. And if we can't afford it, I can say, "Hey, come get your robot. I can't afford it," and they'll come get the robot. It's
And
free.
with no penalty.
No penalty. Yeah, it's all in the contract.
But we couldn't do that as an SRO. Because we were trying to.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it, and the touchdown club could not do that because of the way the organization is set up. So on their end, it has to go through the school because the municipality ruling on that. If we agreed to it, we
You don't get the
hang
opt
out. We hang out the guys coming behind us. You don't get an opt out.
Yeah, you don't get the opt out option.
The opt out option is only going through the school. And again, like the funding, they're not asking for any funding on it. Funding is going to come from the football account that's coming from the gate money and all the money that's raised on that. So
Jackson County uses it. Smith County uses it. I believe Gordonsville don't use it. Smith County uses it. There's a lot of teams that use it. This company is better than the third. There's another company that some people have used. We're not using that. They've got bad reviews. This company's got the best reviews. I've seen it, in action for many years. They come out, they train you, they'll train the staff. Not everybody's going to mess with this. Only a few people that are trained on it will mess with it. So we limit the people that will be touching it.
You said it would be for y'all and
Yeah.
the middle school.
So we're going to pay the cost. And then I've already talked to Chris Andrews with the youth league, and I've already talked to Brian Smotherman for middle school. And I said, hey, the deal will be, we'll pay 50%. You guys will break the other 50 down, 25. And they said they were for that. But we're going to pay for it. Because once again, at all programs, $8,300 is a paint cost. The robots cheaper. It doesn't make sense to not do this.
Like, anybody? Number 14 on tonight's agenda is to approve policy number 1.806, which deals with advertising and distribution of materials in schools. Student.
So, we've reached out to Ben to add to this, just to make it clear for the paw print shop at the high school to be able to print political signs. There was some gray area in that, in a situation. And after speaking with Ben, that's what he suggested, was just adding a statement that you had there in red that he added for us, for them to be able to go ahead and continue to print those political signs and banners and things. And so that's his verbiage that he put in there. allow them to be able to do that.
Any questions at all concerning that? Item number 15 is Principal Rainen would like to address the board concerning the funds for archery this year to be reallocated to track since we did not have an archery team.
Well, there's not much more for me to add than that. We didn't have an archery team this year. And we had an EA, Mr. Jeff Tanner, who went through and kind of took on track. He's done a lot of practice with the kids. He's got them ready for high school. So a lot of them ready for high school. I think he had about 21 kids come out this year. So, I was, trying to make sure the budget was good. I was like, if we can pass that over to him, because he had spent a lot of money out of his own pocket. So if we could do that, that'd be awesome.
That's a great idea. Thank you for thinking through that. Any other comments or questions for Mr. Brandon? All right, we'll just keep trucking along. Number 16 is to approve to increase the BCBA position. That's the behavioral specialist to 11 months. Ms. Jewett.
Currently, and Dr. McCurry can add to this, currently we have BCBAs that work with this, that we hired, that's paid out of the federal funding, the IDA, that is only works for us the 10 months. But with the changing of what we're seeing and the needs that we have, Dr. McCurry came and asked about extending that. It would come out of her funds to pay for this person to work an extra month, that 11 months instead of 10 months. To help with these babies.
You have anything to add?
Yeah, so we currently have a behavior intervention classroom that's being served at the elementary building. And one of the things that I would like our BCBA to be able to do is to write procedures that would help facilitate how students are placed into the behavior intervention classroom, as well as how they are placed back into the gen ed setting. Also writing procedures on how we write behavior supports. And then being able to provide training for staff, for both EAs and gen ed teachers, to support students with behavioral needs. So that additional month would be able to provide that time allotted to write those procedures, write training materials, and be able to provide that training themselves.
Any questions at all? Item number 17 is to approve participation in all federal programs for the coming year. This is something that is essential for you.
Yes, it is. That encompasses Ms. Mullins' programs, our special education department, with our IDA, pre-K, NC Crystal over on that side of the room. So all of those programs that provide us some extra funds.
Please approve this.
All right. Number 18, we have spent a lot of time on this season. I don't know about you ladies, but I'm glad to see it come to the end. It's time to approve the general purpose budget for next school year. Andrea is here. There were some updates, I believe, that came through the email that Miss Julie sent out. Are there any questions after seeing that email, or Miss Andrea, you have anything you want to share with us tonight?
I'm just glad. Agree.
Fist bump there.
Yes.
So, thank you. We appreciate you being involved. So, all right. Any questions at all? Next. Item number 19 is to approve the food service budget for 2027. Ms. Julie, let's see, there you are. I'm so sorry.
Our goal is always to be self-funded. We did ask general purpose for help with the increase on salaries, and that's the only addition to that. That's out of this.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. All right. If there are no other questions, number 20 on this month's budget is the director's comments. Ms. Julie, do you have anything tonight? Okay. Number 21 is the chairman's comments. He is not here, so we will not have any comments from him. And 22, we will adjourn. Our regular board meeting is Thursday, this Thursday at 6 p.m. and it's going to be in the cafeteria of Canyon County Elementary and Canyon County Middle School. Everybody can be there.
We do have the reception at 5:30 that starts at 5:30 for our retirees. And we have 3 this year with that retirees. So we can have that. They will, Miss Teresa's cupcakes will be served. So that's
The most attended meeting that we have.
Yes.
Yes, all right. Thank you. We're adjourned.